Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with a top 5 video for you tonight, and this is my fourth of 6 videos celebrating the best movies of 2021. And today and right now I'm going to be covering Best Actor in a Leading Role. Got 5 performances to talk about, so let's get to it. Number 5 is Javier Bardem as Desi Arnaz in Being the Ricardos. This was a very well-made movie by Aaron Sorkin. As always, just a crackling good script. Hell of a confident performance by Javier Bardem, and a just genuinely endearing love letter to one of Hollywood's most beloved couples, and frankly, maybe the two most beloved people in the history of television. Javier was terrific. He really got Desi's charm and confidence, as well as bringing his own coolness to the film as well. There's a scene in the movie where Lucy's scene, but Desi just stands in the background, leaning against the doorway, smoking a cigarette, and flicking the ashes into the ashtray he's holding in his hand, because he's too he can't be bothered to move because he just looks too cool right now. I love it, but he's terrific in it, and quite frankly, I think he had some of the best scenes of the whole film. Number 4, Bob Odenkirk in Nobody. Nobody, of course, being the long needed parody of these Luc Besson super shoot 'em up borderline action parodies, John Wick-esque kind of movies. But the thing is, if they would have gotten a Keanu, a Matt Damon, a Liam Neeson, or literally anyone who's ever done action movies before, it wouldn't have worked. What made Nobody even a watchable movie? I mean, it's not bad script or anything like that, but what made that movie work was Bob Odenkirk. He was terrific in it. He was absolutely perfect. He was absolutely great. Genuinely badass. And yeah, I thought it was terrific. And I also really liked, I should have put her in my honorable mentions, Connie Nielsen in this movie. I love that we avoided one of the worst action movie cliches there is, which is the girlfriend or the wife is always left out of the loop and is constantly busting her boyfriend, cop boyfriend, or hero boyfriend, or spy boyfriend's balls or husband's, because she's not being told. When literally half of the film's conflict could be instantly resolved just by our hero telling his wife the truth. But not in this movie. In this movie, she knows what kind of man she married. She is what got him out of that life, and she's loving, she's supportive, she's understanding. She doesn't want him to get back into this shit, of course, but she feels like a real person, instead of just a cliche. Number 3, damn, I spent more time talking about her than him. But yes, Odenkirk's what makes the movie work. He's absolutely great. Number 3, Sam Richardson in Werewolves Within. I loved Werewolves Within so much. And yes, since I saw this movie, this is the first time I've ever seen Richardson. Since I've seen this movie, I have also seen The Tomorrow War, where he was Chris Pratt's temporary sidekick. I remembered he was one of the bad guys in the incredibly disappointing Workaholics movie Game Over Man. And I've come to realize this is kind of his Shucky Darn Black Guy is kind of his shtick. But it's great. It's earnest, and it's genuinely, and it's just downright sweet. This is almost Ned Flanders level of a sweetheart character. And he's just so good in it. Yeah, man, I became like an instant fan of this guy's right away, just from this movie. And yes, basically playing he is the brand new ranger coming to the small Vermont town, trying to just oversee the final deals between a pipeline is laid down, and has to now capture a fucking werewolf. And just the whole time of the movie, he's just trying so hard to stay optimistic and friendly and not lose his composure. He even tries his best not even cuss. It's just so fucking good in this movie. I loved him. Number 2, Oscar Isaac as Bill Tell in The Card Counter. Whoa. Now, talking of shifting tones here now. He plays, as I said, Bill Tell, who, after spending a decade in military prison for war crimes he committed at Abu Ghraib, he's taught himself how to count cards and now travels the country picking up little hustling small card games when he gets kind of dragged back into, not so much dragged back into his old life, but his old life starts spilling into his new one. And just when he has a mild opening for happiness, all of those ghosts and all of that darkness comes back to the surface. And fuck, is Oscar Isaac great in this movie. So chilling, so reserved patience when he does kind of, not so much snap, but when you see him lose his restraints the few times he does in the film, he's scary. He's scary. And it's just really, really fucking good performance in this movie. And a damn good movie all around. Paul Schrader's a bit of an unsung genius, in my opinion. I haven't seen a lot of the man's work, but it seems like anytime I do, it's like, whoa. This and Affliction for sure. I had another one right there in my mind, and now I lost it. And my number one, my winner for the best supporting actor of 2021 is Bradley Cooper in Nightmare Alley. Stanton Carlisle is an evil man, and there is no pulling back. Mild spoiler here, this movie opens. And I say opens, I mean the first fucking frames of this film is us seeing our hero, our protagonist, hiding the corpse of a man because he just stole the fucker's watch. Of course, there's more layers to it, and I don't spoil the movie for you. But, oh man, he's basically an Okie. Not saying he's definitely from Oklahoma, but he's a Southerner. That era. So he's basically an Okie looking for work. Starts doing grunt work at a circus for a carny show and learns their hustles, learns their tricks. Figures out all this, learns the scams. And then we catch up with him years later where he's taking the show on a big high society road. And you can see the influences of his predecessor, his mentor. Terrific performance by David Strathairn, and good performances all around in this movie. But Carlisle is so wicked and evil, and no, he's not somebody you're rooting for, but you're invested and you stay with this movie and this wretched man for so long because, don't you fucking want him to get his. You really, really want this fucker to go down. And then there's his use of slang, the way he just bled into the clothes. I mean, my dad is gonna appreciate how this fucker can wear a fedora. I know my dad, and that's like a thing with him. If you can't wear a hat the right way, you're just not cool, in his opinion. And he's probably right, to be honest with you. But I mean, just in the slang, just the way he would just dropped words like dough and swell. As this scene in the movie tells him, Kate Blanchett, and he goes, you dame, you're no good. Just bogey shit, you know what I mean? He was fucking great in this. And he's probably gonna get snubbed for an Oscar. He's been nominated so many times already. But, oh man, he was fucking great. It's definitely my winner. And my honorable mentions, kind of had to force some honorable mentions here. Because in a lot of ways, except for a few real standouts, it wasn't that great of a year for the leading men. My, for sure, definite honorable mentions, guys who, it's just hard to cut, were Simon Retz for Red Rocket as a self-destructive fucking douchebag. Ex-porn star who goes back to his hometown and pretty much terrorizes his entire community. Cooper Hoffman as fucking Gary Valentine. What a great character. Oh, man. 15-year-old child actor waterbed salesman, arcade owner, and drug dealer to the stars. He is a fucking great character. Philip Seymour Hoffman would be so proud of his boy. I'm sure he would. I guess Tom Holland for Spider-Man. I mean, just because he was Spider-Man. One of the Spider-Men. I actually thought he was really, really good in the movie Chaos Walking as well. Nicolas Cage in a pair of strange performances, but neither one were a particularly good movie. Willy's Wonderland and Pig. Hugh Jackman was pretty good in Reminiscence, but Cooper did the film noir lead much better. Hold on, my baby's trying to get in here to talk to me. Hey, Elmo. Come here.
Elmo.
She's Elmo's. She's in her Elmo costume now.
Oh.
Come here.
What?
Will Smith.
Okay.
I mean, he was good in King Richard. Nothing wrong with him in it. Nothing wrong with the movie. Just, none of these guys are real front runners for me. You know what I mean? You don't want to be up here? Ryan Reynolds was really good in Free Guy, but the truth is no one else in that movie was on his level. Gerard Butler and Frank Grillo were really good playing off each other in Cop Shop. Benedict Cumberbatch was pretty good in The Courier. And Jason Statham kind of tried something new with Wrath of Man. Like I said, there were good performances, but nothing really stood out except for these particular 7 performances. But Bradley Cooper, whoa. This might be a career-defining role for him. This is definitely, I would say, would replace, for me, my favorite performance of his. Up to this point, I would have said American Hustle, because he was really, really great in American Hustle. But fuck, there still is Wedding Crashers. Sack Lodge. What a douche. Anyhow, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. 2 more of these to go. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.